Okay, now we have a breaking fucking news here. And this is really, really piss a lot of people off, right? Let's be clear. Now, I'm gonna read this to y'all, right? And oh, it already begun. The plague has increased. Okay, let's take this as this is not anti Xbox. This is a problem of Xbox. Xbox is not bringing enough revenue or profit. So Jason Snyder, uh, of course, that's AI. Several studios in Microsoft Corp's Xbox gaming division, including Montreal-based Compulsive Games, Cinefis Go based Double Fine, are in active negotiation to spin off as they try to thwart closure, according to people familiar with the company's plan. If you take that, they do not want to shut down. They want to bring the product, they want to bring games to the people that can enjoy. Cambridge, England based Ninja Theory, the marker of Hellblade, is also conversation with Xbox as several other studios across portfolio that are at risk of being shuttered. Which take this, the news broke out. I think Ninja Theory has been shut down. We're gonna get into that. Um, yeah, honestly, this is where uh Xbox needs to get the fuck away from exclusivity because it's hurting them. Gears of War, they like it's a cheap win. It's a cheap win situation, right? Studios may still have opportunity to buy themselves back from Xbox and go independent, although many employees will likely lose their job as a result. And instead, the people, uh, who ask not to be named because they were not authorized to speak to the press. Employees at several studios have been informed of the situation and given the permission to seek new work, but were told that the status of a studio is still in flux. And I'm telling you, this is a corporate greed. Xbox is not Xbox anymore, and y'all Xbox uh dick lovers are not seeing the big picture. And this is a big picture, right? So now if we go here, this person, Elliot, has came out, exposed Xbox and Microsoft. Helix is a hybrid Xbox PC gaming system. That means there should be no exclusivity. There shouldn't be having free to play multiplayer online games to be behind a paywall. That's where Xbox has mishandling Game Pass so much. Now the question is Xbox mishandling the budget for their own system, their own hardware they are currently working on, even exclusivities. And so he said this, right? I'm generally worried about the tier studio given that, Xbox smaller development teams, they were acquired in an era of growth all costs. Is that especially what this memo unwinding, and again, it's not new either. In 2024, Xbox shut Tango GameWorks, first off, the developers of High Five Rush, that's the developer right here, and closed Arcane Austin 2. Those studios were prestige rich, talent Disney's modest, the balance sheet. The memos we expected or spended the studio system and found ourselves overextended. It's the same logic that ended Tango under Bowie and Spencer. And we having that exact same situation with the current CEO, the current leadership of Xbox right now. There's no fixing this. There's not. Because considering this, um, they will implement ads, and everybody's like, oh, they're not gonna add ads. Look, they are. Clearly, if they're forcing you to buy the Game Pass if you don't want to have ads. So to me, this exclusivity is pointless at this point, right? So this actually connects to this one so far, for my understanding. Now, a rumor has it Xbox Helix could launch without a controller, and oh my lord, people is not happy about that. Not happy howsoever. Uh so that um but yeah, like I see fit, Xbox Helix may actually a point where I made that Xbox needs to get rid of exclusivity because they're going in PC world. Now, Microsoft CEO Nadella said he believes there's more moderation of Xbox games happening on YouTube than on its own company following Xbox um Asha Sharma's recent commitment to reset the gaming branch. And there was no reset. This is the same history repeat. Xbox will not be a number one platform by 2030. I promise you. This is bad news, a bad, you know. And and now going into this, studios will report to like now since Xbox Game Studios boss Craig Duncan is stepping down after 18 months in a role. He's been with the company for 20 something years. Studios will now report to Xbox CCO Matt Booty until replacement is found. Xbox Game Studios Chief of Staff Lucy O'Connor will also be leaving, and they already left. You know that's how bad, and they do not want to be lay off because of the situation they put themselves in. Was this? And here's the
The leaders of the Xbox division
images.
put out a memo today saying that we should expect a hard reset of Xbox coming soon. They said that there are massive increases in the prices of components and that Xbox might need a new business model. So, as a big gamer who's enjoyed many happy hours on Xbox, Satya, I have to ask, what is your strategy for Xbox?
The challenge now for us is to think about how do you innovate both in hardware as well as in the games going forward in a world in an economically viable way, right? I think one of the things that Asha, who's just taken over Xbox, put out is that we've invested a lot. No one can accuse Microsoft of not having invested for the last 25 years. And now we have to turn this into a sustainable business that delivers what is fundamentally one of the best sources of entertainment still. The challenge we have is we're not been monetizing that entertainment. In fact, if anything, we've been subsidizing that entertainment. In fact, like there's more monetization of Xbox games happening on YouTube than at Microsoft.
I mean, can you give us just any more detail? Like when I hear that, I think, okay, so just any more detail. Like when I hear that, I think
Microsoft.
I mean,
games happening on YouTube than at Microsoft.
I mean, can you give us just any more detail? Like when I hear that, I think, okay, so maybe like the Xbox gets way more expensive, the games get way more expensive. Like, is there any sort of like carrot you can offer the gamers?
Like, I think we have to find ways to deliver the games at which it's economically relevant for the customer and for us. So today there's a issue, in fact, unfortunately, because of what's happening with the cloud and AI, the prices have gone up, right? It's happening with PCs, it's happening with phones, Xbox is impacted as well. So the scarcity of the semiconductor supply and memory in particular having a massive impact.
So it's really screwing Xbox over. So
Reset of Xbox coming soon. They said that there are massive increases in the prices of components, and
the challenge turn this into a sustainable business. Soft of not having one of the things that Asha, who's just taken over
more detail. Like when I hear that, I think, okay, so maybe like
because of what's happening with the cloud, all up.
so now that is bad. So honestly, like I said, I tweeted this. Of course, if you think about it, this is only 30%, not including hardware losses or interdivision costs. Maybe negative looks like. So basically, Xbox is not looking so great. But here's the thing. They should be afraid because Halo is now out. Well, let's say not well it's big hit on PlayStation. It has a big amount of people pre-ordering this game. So if they have a big pre-ordering on PlayStation, that is like I'm gonna be like this, right? Microsoft CEO, him right here, will look at numbers and tell them, "Hey, look, get rid of exclusivity, right? It is done. It's done." But this person said when Nadalia defends the fact that Microsoft has been spent 25 years investing in gaming and at the same time talks about turning Xbox into a sustainable business makes it clear that the issue is not emotional but corporate. Xbox been able to afford margin of error for decades that PlayStation and Nintendo simply do not have. Sony cannot treat PlayStation a eternally lost, making experiment PlayStation one of its major business pillars, and Nintendo quite simply lives and dies by video games when it failed with Wii U. That was a real crisis. That is why constantly portraying Xbox as a victim feels dishonor. If PlayStation signs deals, if Nintendo protects its exclusive or third party publisher decides not to release on Xbox because numbers do not add up, it is always conspiracy. Sometimes it is the market, sometimes it is install based, sometimes it is a purchasing habits, sometimes it is the fact that Game Pass has changed prescription of value within its own ecosystem. Besides, Xbox also pay for exclusive deals and content when sued, Microsoft, you cannot celebrate that strategy as strategy when Microsoft does it and call it abuse when Sony and Nintendo do the same. Nor can you spend years saying exclusives are dead, then defend them when Xbox needs them. Criticizing Xbox doesn't mean wanting to destroy it. It means asking for clarity, constancy, and results. Competition is good, yes, but competing also means facing consequences, not living forever under Microsoft umbrella while blaming everyone else's. So this is clearly 100% facts. Not because he has the name PlayStation, but he also said what it was actually hit the mark. He summed it pretty well. Um, he said something perfectly. We want Xbox to compete. We love great games from Xbox, and Xbox has a lot of work ahead of them to become sustainable. And here's the thing. Yeah, he said that because here's the thing. PlayStation wants Gears of War. But what really doesn't add up, they targeted him and thinking what he's saying is a hypocrite. But I actually agree what he said right there. And this person said, no, you don't get it. I'm interested in options of fellow Xbox fans who invested significant in the platform. I'm not remotely interested in the opinions of people not invested who make an effort to spread Xbox FUD and talk down to fans of the console. That doesn't make no sense. That literally doesn't make no sense, bro. And let me tell you, Xbox is not Xbox. Xbox is corporate Microsoft BS. And I will 100% tell you that this is not good. This is not good howsoever, right? So the key factor what this person's saying is that uh that Xbox should have they just keeping exclusivity warmer, but they not handling exclusivity right. So to me, it doesn't make no sense. So this was from 2018, right? Microsoft acquires We Happy Few developer, and guess what? Guess what? 7 years later, they cancel or destroy the developers. That was literally the best studios. And here's the thing. People say PlayStation instead, but who's definitely underground? So now let's move on. Oh, I need to like this. Wait. We will go into this. We will. But now Verge is reporting that Ninja Theory was told on a call they will be closed down and now hoping for a buyer. Xbox is officially Grimace Company. You use them to pad your showcase with a trailer, then close them a week later. Pound send Microsoft. So this one that this man saying Sony didn't announce a new Blueprint game in a showcase. Only close to closed the studio 1 week later. They worked with Blueprint to find a new project, and when Blueprint rejected being a support studio, the closure was imminent. I hope this helps your bad faith. False equality. So let's put it like this: if this game was announced and they decide cancel and close the studio, that's monopoly. But what he was making a fair point was Blue Point was not showing on Sony's showcase. Howsoever, no showcase involving Blueprint or Blue Point. Blue Point was closed a week later. I blame God. uh but yeah, I totally agree with Reforged Gaming Care. He's actually correct. Sony didn't announce any new Blue Point game in the showcase, only to close the studio 1 week later. So yeah. Now moving on. And here's the thing. Now, this is from Snickers SO. I like that name at the end. SO. Okay. Rumor. Espas is claimed to be already trying. Espas claimed to be already trying to reverse course on exclusivity. And this person is saying this. I know for the fact the true picture of their financial situation really didn't enter the discussion until 3 or 4 weeks ago. Exclusive talk was nothing more a show convention season already. There is a talk about how reverse course on it. Do you think Xbox should make more exclusives or go multi-platform? Uh, um, they definitely needs to go uh multi-platform because what they fucking did was bad for business on their part. Because let me put it like this: Tom Hurchison, let's see, uh, Inside Gaming, uh, what's up, Tins? We're talking about Xbox right now, brother. Um, how bad the situation is. They now reportedly closed Ninja Theory. Uh, let me let me find. Uh, let's go on YouTube. Their YouTube. Uh, okay.
Was made. I don't, but I would consider that a late decision because
Increase taking apparently can go from 0 to a complete site in just a
Oh god. I'm giving credit to these people, journalists.
2 years earlier. She also wrote, or they also wrote, we expanded our studio system when we needed a pipeline of content to meet multiple strategies across subscription, streaming, and devices, and the landscape of more readily available pipeline of first and third priorities over the next
I'm all right.
years. We will end this fiscal year at about 3% accountability margin, down year over year, excluding Activision Blizzard King over the.
About like yeah, I mean, yeah. Me and Mike have heard like what's gonna happen, and we have heard of a studio closure as well, and I guess that's all we can really say on it. But I think it might have been Jez or someone else earlier today said that they're gonna start pumping a lot of money into their main IPs now. So like,
Yeah, the information
yeah,
just
Well, according to someone by name Sneakers SO, he is claiming Xbox is claimed to be already trying to reverse the course of exclusivity. He said, I know for the fact the true picture of their financial situation really didn't enter the discussion until 3 to 4 weeks ago. Exclusive talk was nothing but more a show confession season. Already there is a talk about how refers course on it. So basically, why the fuck? Okay, you canceled and closing the studio down. Who's developing Ninja Theory? They were working on this. Let me put it like this: Gears of War, $400 million budget. Clockwork Revolution, $500 million budget right there. Call of Duty games, $7 fucking $100 million budget. I think one of their games was $815 million budget. That is not fucking good. Remember how the first Gears of War was like 16, like around 10 to 16 million dollar. Gears of War 2 to 3 was less than like 30 or 50 million. And here's the thing. Now we up where Xbox is, oh my god, killing themselves. I think what it is the CEOs don't have the common knowledge on how to do a finance decision of this. Gears of War E-Day was already done with the PS5 version. And guess what? Last minute decision happened. Right? Last minute decision happened. So we went on that they are closing studios down. The studios they bought, and that's not good. That's not good. So Gears of War developers, every single developers that's in this list are already in high risk of closure and be laid off. So Xbox is fucking stupid because they are. Look, okay, let me put it like this: when they bought Bethesda in Activision, uh, those both studios made them lose $20 billion, right? Uh, $20 billion. No, it might be the last exclusivity for Xbox altogether. Altogether. Let me put it like this. This isn't exclusive. This isn't exclusive. Not exclusive. Not exclusive. Not exclusive. Not exclusive. All of this right here is not exclusive. Only thing exclusivity to Xbox is Clockwork and Gears of War E-Day. But there's a possibility Gears of War E-Day will come to PlayStation, even Clockwork Evolution. And honestly, I think Clockwork look interesting, but it doesn't appeal to me. But Gears of War E-Day, oh, I 100% guarantee you, if they put $400 million budget for Gears of War E-Day, they expecting 7 million or $7 billion, or not dollar, but copies to be sold. If here's the thing, they have history, right? They have history. Let's see, list of Gears of War right? So now let's go on the list here, right? Gears of War back in 2006 sold 5 million copies. Gears of War 2, 12 million copies. Gears of War 3, 12 million copies. It then went downhill after Judgment, um, and Gears of War 4 and 5. And when they released Gears of War Ultimate and Trilogy, they only hit 1 million copies being sold, right? So this is what this is. So honestly, I did not have no problem with Gears of War Judgment. I love Gears. I I was 6 years old when I first played Gears of War. Yeah, I was scared because how scary the enemies were. But now let's see uh let's see Gears of War budget, right? Yeah, but um uh like, I said list. Um let's see. God damn, I said list and oh no. Oh no. Uh if they want to make a good money, exactly, and that is a cheap win. According to um Tom Henderson, Tom Anderson, right? He's saying it was a cheap win. How much budget? Why am I misspelling budget? Ugh. For Gears of War games. Uh, I'm searching. I'm searching. I hate this. Triple A IP, tens of millions of dollar, typical of mid 2000 console. Now, okay, let me put it like this. How much budget was Gears of War 1? And I still got Gears of War 1 on my PlayStation. So this is actually how much the development budget of upwards for Gears of War E-Day, which is the longest Call of or not Call of Duty, but longest Gears of War E or story is E-Day. They changed something that is not basically from the lore. So, uh, oh my god, I say Gears of War. Let's see. So, you know, Gears of War was produced with a budget of about 10 million. So it included development team of roughly 20 to 30 people working over 2 year period. So 10 million was no means cheap. It was far less than 10 to 30 million dollar, often si- uh, credited for next gen games. Okay. Uh how much budget Gears of War 2. Okay, Gears of War 2 had estimated development budget of 50 to $100 million. And Gears of War 2 was the best Gears of War game. Matter of fact, I will not lie to you. It sold basically sales performance. Gears of War 2 was commercially successful, selling 6.75 million copies, which is slightly below break even point for some modern AAA games with much higher budget. Uh Now, this is where it's like goes here, right? Now we go to Gears of War 3. See, the development budget was 48 to 60 million. So figure was roughly 4 to 5 times the budget of the original Gears of War, which it had cost 12 million to make. The higher costs reflect the game scale advance, Unreal Engine 3, virtual and spend content compared to early entries in the series. I think you will like I will recommend play E-Day, Gears of War Judgment, Gears of War, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, then 4, 5, soon to be 6. So, despite the high budget, Gears of War 3 was a commercial success, over 3 million copies in its first week, becoming the biggest game of 2011. It also helped put some franchise lifetime sales par as $1 billion. Okay, let's go to Judgment, right? We doing pretty well just doing these, right? Budget for Gears of War Judgment was 60 million. Um, which it released in 2013, was developed of Epic Games in a collaboration with People Can Fly, published by Microsoft Studios, Quine, Epic CEO Tim Sweeney. The game's development cost primacy 60 million, significantly increased compared to the original Gears of War, which had a budget of 12 million. Gears of War 3 cost a 48 to 60 million. Let's see. The higher budget Judgment reflect growing cost console game development at the time, including more advanced graphics, larger teams. It's been uh projection values despite 60 million investment. The game generated around 100 million in sales, which are profitable, but represented a smaller market compared to early entries of the series. So that that's where the downfall was coming in, was Judgment, right? Now, how much budget Gears of War 4 had? Um, I said 4. 4. Motherfucker. I not looking at I swear this is where I hate co-pilot shirts so fucking bad. Ugh. Going on Google. Hello. Google is no. Um how much budget? Yeah. Okay. Gears of War 4 would have required a budget well over 100 million. Skyrocketing the cost will primarily reason Epic decided to hold the project and sell a franchise to Microsoft, who subsequently developed and completed it with Collision. So basically, this is where it goes downhill. Gears of War 4. Okay, Judgment made them starting losing money. Then 4 definitely losing money. Now Gears of War, because it was a major tentpole for Xbox Game Pass industry, estimated AAA titles from era typically range from 75 to 150 plus million dollars, excluding the marketing. While Gears isn't confirmed, recent industry reports shed light. Oh, god damn it! This ain't. Shit. Do this. Wow. Wow. They never reveal how much budget for Gears of War 5 was. However, looking at recent industry news, how much conversation dominated by the upcoming prequel Gears of War E-Day, which will reportedly cost up towards $400 million to develop. Let's see. Okay. How much did it cost to make Gears of War 5? Okay. Oh, okay. Never officially disclosed the SEC development budget for Gears 5. Industry estimate for the major titles typically scale into tens of millions of dollars. For context, earlier entries like Gears of War 3 around 50 to 60 million, Gears of War 4 $100 million. So clearly, what they're expecting from Gears of War E-Day is bringing 7 billion copies to be sold. So now this is where Tom Henderson was correct on
And
this.
that bombshell report of that Microsoft could potentially be looking to
talking about exclusives, and then 6 hours later, actually coming out on Twitter of all places saying, "Oh, we're looking into it." Just what the fuck? Like, that's insane.
or or the whole PlayStation 5 Gears thing where the reports came out right before the showcase that they
Yep.
made a late decision to change it.
Saying she
Kind of
shattered the relationship.
kind of proved that they made a late decision, and then you have like, no, it wasn't a late decision. We just kept under the. I'm sorry, when your own
Nah,
Xbox
man.
podcast thing, your video direct comes up and it shows Gears E-Day coming to PS5, and then you have to immediately take it down. That is evidence it was a late decision because you have to
Yes.
tell the production staff of, hey, we need to
Yeah.
fix this right away. Like,
I mean, yeah, like, not to get into all of that stuff, but like, I heard that it was 5 or 6 weeks ago that decision was made. I don't, but I would consider that a late decision because, I mean, you're
Yeah.
a multi-trillion-dollar business and you're making decisions like that on a whim. And I
feels
do
like that's
think
all they've been doing lately.
I do think that Gears of War not going to PS5 is a cheap win. I'm sorry, I do. Gears of War's budget is insane. Like, I've heard upwards of $400 million. That budget
Holy
is
shit.
absolutely insane for Gears.
Wow.
And let's be honest, it probably wasn't going to make money even if it was on PlayStation. But no, it's definitely not going. Like, who's buying an Xbox and Game Pass for Gears? No one, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And there's no Xboxes to buy anyway because of all they can't make anymore.
We give them all away.
So yeah, yeah, they're giving them all away. I think I said this to a few people at Summer Games Fest, and I definitely stand by this. Is what they should have done. I think Xbox have a really big issue of catering to the core audience, or that passionate audience that, you know, like does go around at these events and does the X symbol everywhere and all that kind of nonsense. I think it is very dangerous that they do that for a number of reasons, obviously, like brand visibility and all that kind of stuff. But what they should have done is they should have put Gears on PlayStation 5. They should have put Clockwork, if that's going to release by the time Helix comes out, on PS5. They should have put everything on the PS5. And then when Helix comes out, they should have gone, right, you've had a taste of what Xbox has to offer.
I like that.
And that's what he was trying to say. And people just thinks that was a anti. Like, look, we're not hating on Xbox, but the news is breaking out now. We might actually. Oh, I'm gonna take a picture and like, hello, like, hey Xbox, are you that goddamn stupid? Asha Sharman, are you that goddamn stupid? Okay, I think Xbox in general needs to be a multi-platform. Like, what the actual fuck? Are we doing? Like, this is a hot mess. This is literally the hot mess I ever saw. And this is where I 100% calling this. I think Microsoft will sell Xbox as a brand because or I personally I feel like Epic should never sold the Gears of War series. You know, Epic was the first owner of Gears of War. The very first owner. And let me put it like this. When they announce exclusive games, that's a corporate greed going on right there. You know they're gonna pull like a Uno first card on themselves. Exclusivity has killed Xbox. Actually, no. Game Pass actually. Exactly. They are money hunger. Look, I love Xbox, right? I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer to the core, right? I don't care if it's Xbox, PlayStation, or PC. Like, well, PC doesn't count as a game system, but Nintendo, right? But my concern is the lies to your consumer, to the player base, that you lying straight up to their face. Here's the thing, right? I'm gonna say this. I will go on Google again, right? Google. We love Google, right? Google doesn't lie, right? How much copies did Gears of War Reloaded sold? This is a fake number, right? This is 100% fake number. Right? Oh! 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 Look at that. A real number, right? Real number. Real fucking number right here. I had to deeply look into this. 684,000 copies on the PlayStation 5 since its day and date launch, while the game says past 1 million player across all platforms, does in 3 days. Early PlayStation sales revenue soft to compare. Here's the thing. No, it sold much more than Xbox version. Right? So much. And this is a month ago. So you cannot say Gears of War didn't sell well. It was nearly almost there at 1 million copies being sold on PlayStation. I have called out the people that changed the number twice. Twice. In line for Xbox Game Pass. Here's the thing. Xbox Game Pass, right? Whoever changed these numbers around to be 1.3 million copies sold on Xbox. That's not true because considering the Game Pass, right? People played the Gears of War Reloaded on Game Pass for free. They didn't buy it, but for free, right? That's less marketing right there to sell the copies. PlayStation 5 outsold Xbox in Steam. I have looked at this number. So, now, this is a sign that Collision, the developers, should be making Gears of War as a whole independent game, right? This is wrong. This is 100% lie. PS5 players do give a fuck about Gears of War. And okay, let's look at this. According to these idiots, hang on, Gears of War has now sold over 1 million copies, with most sales coming from PlayStation. From PlayStation. Makes sense, seeing it as on Game Pass and given away for free to owners of Ultimate Trilogy. Oh, that page doesn't exist. Oh, okay. So that page doesn't exist. So, let's be for real. Right? Do you think if Gears of War Reloaded sold over 1 million copies, which I believe this is 100% true, right here. Why the fuck? I'm just gonna follow them. But let me put it like this. So clearly, the PS5 version of Gears of War Reloaded was better than Xbox and PC. So clearly, all Xbox games should be uh you know, being multi-platform. This man wasn't wrong. Having Gears of War EA as exclusivity of Xbox is a cheap win. That is bad for business, brother. Bad for business. Now, this is a rumor, and I believe this rumor. Sneakers SO used to be, I believe, for my understanding, is a former of Xbox, and he knows the current CEO. Basically, and with this person saying, think the writing is pretty fucking clearly on the wall. They need to go multi-platform. Xbox fans have been conditioned not to not buy games anymore because of a Game Pass. That is 100% correct, because people isn't buying games because fucking Game Pass. And this person is in fucking denial, because let me put it like this. This is the person who called out layoffs. He literally said Xbox is gonna lay off this X amount of people, or gonna lay off and do the closure of the studios next month, which that is 100% happening, and he clearly calling it right now. They're already ahead of time, or already doing it, and he called it. So that shows signs that we are actually going to have their games on PlayStation. On fucking PlayStation exclusives. So basically, anyone defending what's happening to Xbox are the stupidest people that don't understand what's going on. If Microsoft stop giving money to Xbox because they want Xbox give all the money back after 25 years, and they're not able to give all that money up to them, they will be spin off, or spin off, or be on market for sale. Should make more exclusives. No, they're dying. They're shooting themselves in the fucking foot. I believe this guy. I believe this guy right here. Because it doesn't make no sense. Gears of War going back exclusive, Clockwork being exclusive. Honestly, that doesn't how it works. Because in the reality, this is corporate greed. This is a monopoly situation from Xbox. So at the end of the day, Xbox is just truly shooting themselves in the fucking foot. Like, it blows my goddamn mind. Like, I'm cussing up a fucking sailor right, left and right. Like, this is how bad Xbox gotten. The last time I had Xbox was Xbox One, because I want to play Gears of War. And that was the only time I played the Xbox, was for me to play Gears of War and all other Gears of War games. Now, there's been claimed they're going to reverse exclusivity, so there will not be exclusivity for their games anymore, because how desperate they are. And this is where Matt Booty shouldn't say, oh, they're not timed exclusive or timed period. Just like Asha Sharma should never say shit like that. Bad for business. Matt Booty should have been fired, not Phil Spencer. Because Matt Booty was one person that was bad for business. Bad for business. Asha Sharma, I don't know. She came from AR department, and basically, for me, how I see it, I don't trust her, because Xbox Helix does contain AI integration. She basically lied that she will not have AI, yet you have AI integrated into Xbox Helix. You cannot deny that. You have not answered my tweet. You have not came out, confirmed or denied what I saw of the information about Xbox Helix with AI integration. So you have one or two things. She's just hiding the truth, or she's just straight up a lying corporate rat that she is. And Snickers, so he is on the mark on everything what's going on. They actually called the current CEO a fraud. If she is 100% a fraud, there's a high chance she could be no longer be a CEO. She will be replaced. And I hope Matt Bowie gets fired and Matthew Ball gets fired. And I hope Aaron Greenberg gets fired because he straight up lied to the journalists that what literally was 100% facts of what actually went. Let me find it. Was Gears of War E-Day with a PS5 logo. And he's saying it wasn't a last minute decision when clearly it was a last minute decision. It was a last minute decision making because this is sad. This is sad. I love video games. And this is what it made me think. He said, "Hey, Tom, I can't confirm this is not true. We limited the knowledge. This news is a free will small internal group. Intention was to share this news first with our players and everyone watching the showcase. What's not true? It's not true that it was a last minute decision, which it was bullshit because that was evidence. But guess what? Xbox took it down. I went to his guts. I said, please explain this to me. You saying it wasn't a last minute decision when clearly it was, yet you went on here and lied about it. Like Starfield's situation, something isn't right. It doesn't make any sense. Explain that. What I mean, let me put it like this, right? Starfield will be launching exclusively on Xbox Series X and S PC on November 11th, 2020. 2. Game Pass members can play it day one as well on the Xbox and PC. I know we have said this all before, and none of that has or will change. See, now you said launching exclusively, they will come back and saying it will be released later on the other platforms. We have tried to be clear as possible, not timed exclusive. This is simply where the games is being made. And guess what? You said that right now. It wasn't a last minute decision. Clearly, there was a PS5 logo. That was a last minute decision. And now we have rumor going on that week you said it was opposite, man. It's opposite. This new leadership is doing opposite what they said. Gears of War E-Day is coming to the PlayStation. Clockwork Revolution is coming to the PlayStation. Every single game in this list is basically coming to the PlayStation. Except the studio for Ninja Theory might have been shut down. I'm not 100% sure. And that is a problematic right now. And this drives me nuts. Drives me insane. This is why I can't trust Xbox after Xbox One. It is. Do I wish Phil Spencer? This is where Phil Spencer was in the right. What he was doing. Honestly, Matt Bowie should have been fired. Phil Spencer should have never been forced to retire or fired. Or I wish Sarah Bondant got fired or left the company. Only people I would love to see that gotten fired was Matt Bowie and Matthew Ball. Because one, Matthew Ball was the first person who came up with the idea to have ads Now there's plans to have ads. That's a problem, man. You know, if you implement ads with your games, that's bad. That is desperate greediness. Exactly. Exactly. Only bad thing he did was raising the prices for Game Pass. But what makes Xbox as a brand was so bad for Game Pass was mishandling it, right? Um, let's say where Winds meet, right? Or Elder Scrolls Online, which that should be free to play, to be honest. But actually, no. Um, for example, let's put it like this: Fortnite, right? If you play it, if you play games online on Xbox, it requires you to get a Game Pass membership. That is not how. That's mishandling it. Look at PlayStation. PlayStation done their membership correctly was not have it forcing players to get Game Pass to play online, right? When it comes to free to play games. When it comes to games with multiplayer, but it also has single player, I get that. I get that. I 100% get that. But it's when it comes to free to play games like Valorant, Fortnite, Warzone, Standalone Warzone, what makes you buy the Game Pass? That is not good. That's forcing down your consumers' throat so damn bad. That's where they focusing on Game Pass, and they are still after Phil Spencer left. They are 100% focusing on Game Pass, and that is bad for business right there. But yeah, YouTube. Uh if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe, like. Tell me in the comment section what's your thoughts about the situation. What's your thought about the rumor they already reversing decision of exclusivity? I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.